Nations mourn Queen Elizabeth II with flowers, gun salute and tributes following the death as the longest reigning British monarch at the age of 96. Charles is now King of England and wife Camilla Queen Consort after the passing of Queen Elizabeth. An FG urges NMA to counsel young doctors to give back to society instead of leaving the country. These and more on Panorama today, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Elizabeth Omori. We'll be right back. Charles will be known as King Charles as he ascends to the throne following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth. Buckingham Palace confirmed in a statement immediately Her Majesty Elizabeth II passed away. The king said the death of his beloved mother, Her Majesty the Queen, is a moment of the greatest sadness for him and all members of his family. Charles is now King of England and wife Camilla Queen Consort. Britain will now enter 12 days of mourning after the longest-serving monarch. Prior to her death, the monarch was said by Buckingham Palace to be comfortable at Balmoral, where she remained under medical supervision. King Charles is expected in London today to begin official duties, as announced by the Buckingham Palace. Nations mourn Queen Elizabeth II with flowers, gun salutes and tributes following her death as the longest reigning British monarch at the age of 96. Charles Arthur brings us the latest.
Following her father's death in 1952 at the age of 25 and became the Queen Regent of 7 independent Commonwealth countries at that time and reigned for 70 years, the longest in their history. She has worked with 15 Prime Ministers from Winston Churchill to Liz Truss, whom she met just 2 days ago. Nigeria got her independence in 1960 under her leadership and has had a robust diplomatic tie with her former colonial master. She was also a Queen of Nigeria at independence until 1963, when the country became a republic, an occasion that the Queen sent a very touching and encouraging goodwill message. The late Queen visited Nigeria twice, first in 1956 and then in 2003 for the Commonwealth Head of Government meeting, CHOGM, held in Abuja.
The Nigerian government and people are playing in the new Partnership for Africa's Development and the international community's efforts to bring peace and stability to Liberia, Sierra Leone.
With her demise, her son Prince Charles becomes the king and the head of state of the 14 Commonwealth realms. He will lead the country in mourning the late monarch. Going by the British tradition, the Queen will be buried 10 days after her death. Obiageli Ugwoke, NTA News.
That was Obiageli Ugwoke on the times and life of the late monarch. Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari has received with immense sadness news of the passing of Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom. In a statement, President Buhari said himself, family and the more than 200 million Nigerians have learned with immense sadness of the passing of the Queen and the end of a unique and wonderful 7-year reign. Her late Majesty was the only British sovereign known to 90% of her population. President Buhari said in a quote, "Our thoughts and sincere condolences are with the royal family and the people of the United Kingdom and the entire Commonwealth as we join the entire world in mourning her loss. The story of modern Nigeria will never be complete without a chapter of Queen Elizabeth II, a towering global personality and an outstanding leader. She dedicated her life to making her nation, the Commonwealth, and the entire world a better place." President Buhari welcomes Your Majesty's ascension to the throne in line with tradition and praise King Charles III's reign will witness the continuing robust and sisterly relations between Nigeria and the nation. World leaders have gone to send tributes to honor Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's longest reigning monarch and the nation's forehead for 7 decades, who died at the age of 96. Charles Alpha brings us details.
Prince Charles has paid a moving tribute to his mother, the Queen, after the death of Britain's longest-serving monarch at the Balmoral. As he begins his reign as King, Prince Charles said in a statement, "The death of my beloved mother, Her Majesty the Queen, is a moment of the greatest sadness for me and all members of my family." Antonio Guterres said, as the United Kingdom's longest-lived and longest-reigning head of state, Queen Elizabeth II was widely admired for her grace, dignity, and dedication around the world. He said she was a reassuring presence throughout decades of sweeping change, including the decolonization of Africa and Asia. For the Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi, Queen Elizabeth was a major player in world history over the last 70 years as she represented the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth with balance, wisdom, respect for institutions and democracy. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is the latest world leader to offer his condolences. She was a kind-hearted queen, loved all over the globe. He said, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II embodied the British nation's continuity and unity for over 70 years. Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson also spoke following the Queen's death, saying, "This is our country's saddest day in the hearts of every one of us. There is an ache at the passing of our Queen, a deep and personal sense of loss, far more intense, perhaps, than we expected." Prime Minister Liz Truss, in her address to the nation, said the country would now support the King following the death of the Queen. She said at Downing Street, "Today the crown passes, as it has done for more than 1,000 years, to our new monarch, our new head of state, His Majesty King Charles III. It's an extraordinary achievement to have presided over such dignity and grace for 70 years. Her life of service stretched beyond most of our living memories." Ukrainian President Zelensky has extended his condolences to Great Britain following the death of Queen Elizabeth. For him, it is with deep sadness that we learn of the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. On behalf of the Ukrainian people, we extend sincere condolence to the entire United Kingdom and the Commonwealth over this irreparable loss. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Away from the monarch's death, President Muhammad Buhari is urging Nigerians to have faith in the ability and capability of the nation's armed forces to effectively safeguard their collective interests, promising to do whatever it takes towards sustaining the current operational tempo in the fight against insecurity. This was while inaugurating the newly constructed ultra-modern sports complex of the Nigerian Navy at Ojo in Lagos. Status correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president also declared open the 12th Nigerian Navy Games 2022.
Conceived by the immediate past Chief of the Naval Staff, the Nigerian Navy Sports Complex is equipped with state-of-the-art indoor sporting equipment, world-class gymnasium, swimming pool, a standard football pitch, as well as tracks for athletics events. The goal is to encourage personnel to continue to strive towards sustaining their physical fitness, mental alertness, combat readiness, and indeed team spirit in the task of securing the nation's maritime domain. And to put the sporting facilities to effective utilization, President Muhammadu Buhari flagged off the 2022 Nigerian Navy Games, which he said will go a long way towards strengthening the ties between troops, instilling discipline, and ensuring readiness to serve a common cause.
The Games should therefore provide a glimpse of what Nigerians expect from the Nigerian Navy: dedication, commitment, unity, oneness, and comradeship. Let me assure you that the federal government will continue to encourage sporting activities in view of its importance towards national cohesiveness and unity.
The president used the opportunity to emphasize the significance of synergy between the armed forces, other security agencies, and the general public in bringing about lasting peace and stability in the country.
Let me assure Nigerians that the armed forces would continue to sustain their operational tempo to contain the security challenges in the country. I want Nigerians to believe in the capability of the armed forces to provide the needed strategies in place to safeguard our collective interest.
In a goodwill message, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu described the Nigerian Navy as a strategic partner to the coastal state of Lagos on security of lives and property.
We will never take this partnership and support for granted. We will continue to look for ways to deepen our relationship for the peace, security, and progress of our people.
The Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, who appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for his unquantifiable support and assistance to the Navy, takes pride in the fact that Nigeria not only exited from the International Maritime Bureau's piracy list, but also recorded no incidents of piracy in the last 1 year.
This attests to the Nigerian Navy's willingness and resilience to ensure a safe and secure maritime environment for socio-economic activity to thrive in Nigeria and beyond. Mr. President, may I therefore use this opportunity to express commitment and resolve to sustain the fight against crude oil theft and other maritime crimes for the well-being of Nigerians and economic prosperity of our great country.
About 1,800 athletes from the 6 commands of the Nigerian Navy are participating at the sporting fiesta being hosted for the 3rd time in Lagos since the games started in 1974. From Lagos, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
To security matters, troops of the Nigerian military have arrested a Boko Haram informant in Asokoro, Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this and other success stories of the ongoing military operations across the country were announced at the defense headquarters.
The bi-weekly defense media operations briefing on ongoing armed forces operations across the country. Top on the file is the arrest of a Boko Haram terrorist informant in Asokoro, Abuja, and the rescue of 3 additional Chibok girls abducted on the 14th of April 2014.
The tactical surveillance troops arrested a Boko Haram informant named Malam Umar, aka Badu, in Asokoro, the Federal Capital Territory. It was revealed that the suspect ran errand for his suspected high-profile Boko Haram terrorist commander in Kaduna, who is on the tracking list of security agents. Troops also rescued 3 adopted Chibok girls, namely Jinkia Yama, Falmata Lawal, and Asabe Ali. They were rescued at different locations with their children and 19 other adoptees.
Similarly, a suspected foreign logistics supplier to terrorists has been apprehended in the northeast, while more than 250 terrorists met their Waterloo.
A suspected foreign logistics supplier of arm dealer to Boko Haram terrorists and Islamic State of West African province named Malam Abacha Buka was equally arrested with assorted injections, 20 automated teller machine cards.
In the Niger Delta, troops of Operation Delta Safe upscaled fight against economic sabotage with the arrest of criminals and the activation of illegal refining sites. From the defense headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, troops of the Nigerian Army on patrol along Kaduna-Zaria Highway have repelled bandits around Vandisha village in Igabi, local government area of Kaduna State. This followed quick response as a result of credible intelligence of movement of bandits around the corridor. Troops laid ambush and dislodged them. During the encounter, 2 bandits were neutralized while some bandits escaped with gunshots. Kaduna State government in a statement commended troops for the quick action and gallantry in dealing decisively with criminal elements. You're still watching Panorama, reaching you live from Abuja. Let's take a breather. More reports ahead. Just stay with us.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
You're still watching Panorama on NTA. Efforts by the federal government to tackle malnutrition and its attendant challenges are beginning to take shape, says Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, just as nutrition-specific budget estimates are likely to be included in the 2023 appropriation bill. Vice President Osinbajo was speaking at a virtual meeting of the National Council on Nutrition. The council, with the approval of the president, has now ensured that nutrition departments now exist in several ministries, departments and agencies. The ministries include that of Health, Agriculture, Humanitarian Affairs, Women Affairs, Information and Culture, as well as Industry, Trade and Investment. Others are the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control and the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Laole Akonde, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity in the Office of the Vice President, in a statement released, noted that during the meeting, the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, as well as the Nigerian Governors Forum, made presentations on the implementation of the National Multi-Sectoral Plan of Action on Nutrition, particularly on the funding of nutrition activities in the country. The federal government wants the Nigerian Medical Association to counsel young resident doctors on the need to give back to the society and desist from traveling abroad for greener pastures. The head of Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieson, made the call when the leadership of the NMA visited her in Abuja. Harman Jabani reports.
Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemieson, expressed concern over the rate at which resident doctors travel abroad for practice and urged the association to always complement the effort of government in effective healthcare delivery in the country, as the present administration will continue to provide an enabling environment for them to excel in their profession. Head of the civil service enjoined the doctors to be considerate in their demands, having in mind the dwindling government revenue.
Let use us to gauge need. And when we give you advice, please. It's not because we don't want doctors to earn plenty, but there is a time that you should do it.
President of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Uche Roland Ojima, commended the head of civil service of the Federation for her reformative contributions in repositioning the federal civil service for greater performance and national economic growth. Harman Jabani, NTA News.
And out to political matters, the Chairman Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Walid Jibrin, has resigned. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that Senator Walid stated this at the ongoing PDP BOT meeting in Abuja. He said this is to ensure the party's candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, wins the 2023 election. 7th National Executive Council meeting of the People's Democratic Party has passed a vote of confidence on the Iyorchia Ayu-led National Working Committee. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that NEC also announced the stepping down of Senator Walid Jibrin as the party's Board of Trustees chairman for former President of the Senate, Adolphus Wabara, on acting capacity.
It was a busy day at the national headquarters of the PDP. First, the meeting of the party's Board of Trustees, which later dovetailed into a National Executive Committee's meeting.
Those in favor of the motion of a vote of confidence on the Iyorchia Ayu-led National Working Committee, say aye.
PDP National Chairman announced the resignation of Senator Walid Jibril as Chairman Board of Trustees, with Senator Adolphus Wabara acting in the capacity. The party remains united as against all perceived negative commentaries in some quarters, says Ayu.
This party is famous for settling all disagreements. Of course, there are some discomforting family issues in our party as of today. They are usual in a big family.
PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar agreed no less with the party's position, as disagreements are normal within any political family.
We are determined to resolve those internal disagreements. No matter what the anger is, let us debrief ourselves in-house rather than playing to the gallery.
NEC also approved a unified campaign structure, but yet to constitute a national campaign council. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
In still talking politics, National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adam, says the party is working to end up in the presidential villa and not in the tribunal. He said that this when he played host to Senator Oluremi Tinubu, wife of APC presidential candidate, and her entourage at the party's National Secretariat. Sally Wanara reports.
Senator Oluremi Tinubu and Nana Kashim Shettima have visited Buhari House, National Secretariat of APC, less than 48 hours after a similar visit by their spouses, the party's presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his vice Kashim Shettima. Words from APC National Chairman to the women touched on the need for stakeholders, especially the women, to collectively work and explore their numerical strength towards success.
Some of the best brains are amongst you, women. President Buhari will not be on the ticket in 2023, but his spirit and his driving leadership and progressiveness in all that he does, his fact, will continue to add value to whatever we're with.
Like other stakeholders, Senator Oluremi Tinubu and her team are primed to play an active role through a roadmap that will add value to the party's pre-election processes.
Before the timetable comes out, it's best for me to come here and also tell you that we've been busy quietly, but we want to intimate you on the activities. We're here to get our organogram fine-tuned.
Also in the entourage are representatives of the First Lady, Aisha Buhari, and other senior members of APC Women's Wing. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Since the inauguration of the Northeast Development Commission in 2018, the Commission has recorded tremendous success in bringing hope to the victims of insurgency who are displaced from their settlements. As a result of activities of Boko Haram the past decade, the Managing Director of the Commission, Mohammed Goni Alkali, says this while updating State House media crew on the Commission's core mandate and the way forward during the weekly briefing organized by the Presidential Communications Team. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
The Northeast Development Commission was established in 2017, responsible for the resettlement, rehabilitation, reintegration and reconstruction of the area ravaged by the insurgency, as well as supporting victims and tackling the menace of poverty, illiteracy, ecological problems and other related issues in the area. The Managing Director of the NEDC, Mohammed Goni Al-Ali, said the Commission has embarked in a holistic approach towards addressing the devastating effect of the insurgency. For instance, the Commission has so far executed 647 projects in agriculture, environment, education, health and energy across the 122 local government areas in the 6 states of the Northeast. The Commission, according to the MD, has built 1,000 housing units of 4 bedrooms in Borno State, which was already handed over to the state government for onward distribution to the victims, adding that 500 housing units are under construction in each of the states in the region.
We also now started moving forward to do other infrastructure development, especially in the roads. For instance, we have done in Taraba, we have done the Mayondaga Bridge, It's a very small bridge, but very critical for the farmers there, which were completed.
With over 2 million people affected by the insurgency in the area, the commission, he said, has unveiled a 10-year master plan covering the period between 2020 and 2030, determined for various interventions in education, health, security, as well as human and capital development across the 6 states in the northeast.
We have the renewal phase starting from 2022-2023. That's now we are relative peace in the northeast. So the objective of achieving this second phase is a reality. Then we have the expansion phase 2024-2025, and then the sustainable growth phase from 2020-2030.
Already, he added that over 300 victims were trained on Peace and Conflict Resolutions Initiative, in addition to various train-the-trainer programs, all in an effort towards addressing the challenge. Al-Kali added that NEDC has also supported Nigerian security agencies in the area with operational vehicles as well as health facilities, including ambulances and other medical aids, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
And that's Panorama today. Thank you so much for watching. Do remember to always take action against rape and rapists. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good afternoon.
Stories to tell.
The small boy kicked me to open fire on me, so I said, okay, you can cut the right hand. So that's what how my right hand was cut up.
He's working with closely with which year that it was that guy. No, he's not an ordinary eye. No, it's not an eye. Juju use marry his wife.
It all depends on how I handle my story and how you're able to handle your own story.
It is what you decide in your mind that determines you, not your situation.
I don't hear well. But one thing is, we are better together. Welcome to Against All Odds on the Nigerian Television Authority, a program that brings to your doorstep the lives of persons with disability.
Naysayers have recently ramped up their criticism of the Buhari administration for borrowing. These critics are very insincere. We do not borrow for recurrent expenditure, neither do we borrow to pay salaries. We are borrowing to build world-class infrastructure that will benefit generations of Nigerians. And we have a lot to show for the loans we have taken. Today, the standard gauge rail line between Lagos and Ibadan are running very well. Today, we have new airport terminals in Abuja, in Kano, in Lagos and Port Harcourt. Today, the Itakpe-Warri rail line that was abandoned for decades is now running. Today, we have well over 13,000 kilometers of federal roads under repair, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. There's a road project in every state today. Today, we have started the countdown to when the second Niger Bridge, which successive administrations have built only on paper, will be completed. The list of projects we're handling with the loans we obtained is long.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News Mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected.
It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
This is the network service of the NTA.
It's begun with a clarion call by the number one citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Like a wildfire, rice cultivation eats up every available space. Kura local government area of Kano State has created a niche for itself in that direction. Thanks to the flow of blessings from the tentacles of Hadeja Jama'ari River Basin. Majority of farmers in the local government have heeded to that clarion call and have since prostrated their wastes.
It has been a remarkable achievement in terms of closing up the national demand gap. We were producing around 380,000 metric tons of paddy rice in the 60s. It has now risen to close to 9 million metric tons. This is a very significant improvement, and as far as the national demand gap is, it has been closed very soon. Any additional improvement is going to be for export.
Among them, Malan Lawal, who is not only cultivating rice, but future rice farmers. He tills more than 50 acres of land, harvesting twice a year, enjoying federal government support.
To be sincere, we farmers are happy with the policies of the federal government. This came to our rescue with series of interventions because many of us who have nothing to buy farm inputs have been supported on loan. We have planted for the seasons, harvested and made huge gains. These do not happen before now. In the past, we harvest rice without buyers, and even when you get buyers, it will be purchased on credit without assurances of payment. But now, buyers go from farms to farms, buying rice paddy and making instant payments. And now the value has risen significantly, unlike before. So all we will say as farmers is that we are grateful to the federal government for coming up with those policies. which strengthens the position of the farmers. We are also urging successive governments to sustain the policies because doing this will keep rice farmers in the farms. This initiative has brought about jobs creation to the teeming youth because the rice value chain has multiple impacts.
And the rice fields blossom here, especially around Kura local government area in Kano State, because it is powered by the Hadiji Jama'ari River Basin development. I mean, in terms of supply of water during the dry season. This is planted during the dry season, and you can see precisely that it is about to be harvested.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, gave a directive which led to the closure of borders. That gave room for many of us to go back to the farm and become self-sufficient in food production. A farmer who used to plant on a hectare of land now plants on 2 hectares or even 3, and that has helped a lot of us farmers. We have made huge gains in rice farming. If you produce rice before now, you will end up losing. But as soon as the borders were closed, if you produce rice paddy, you make gains. That is the reason why so many people have now gone back to farming. Many of our people who have gone to higher places of learning with degrees and masters have left it for the farms because the farms are more beneficial than civil service or other jobs. For us, the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari has brought about unprecedented development in the area of farming.
Kura, in the eye of the storm, swelling lips and bounds.
New markets are springing up. So many buyers and sellers are coming together, exchange goods for monies, and at the tail end, people across the country itself come around, buy goods from here and take it to other parts of the country.
By the time of the peak of harvest of rice paddy, you'll be surprised by the number of people trooping into these markets.